Some of you have been asking about the surroundings. So right now I'm here at the asphalt road to pick up my daughter from school. The taxi will deliver here in a few minutes. And this is the property of someone else who rents it out to a tenant to keep sheep. There in the distance you can see a few, and over there you see more. And you see, this is right after the heavy rain. This person also owns the strip there on the other hand, on the other side of the road. And there is this this crossing where the animals won't cross, but a dog will jump over it, and a horse also. But this is so that cars can pass. This, what you see there, by the way, is another easement, or it's actually not an easement, it's a public road. This connects the village of Villanueva de Córdoba, which is 25 kilometers that way. So it basically goes over the asphalt road to Fuencaliente, which is somewhere there before these mountains. So what you see is a public road, but of course it's unpaved. So this is not private property. And the post there, the yellow one, this marks the trajectory of a gas pipeline that is underneath here. So this is how this looks like. And it appears that the bus is coming. So I need to stop it here because now I have to pick up my daughter and we drive home. As you can see, the sun wants to come out, so that's now a good opportunity to have a look at the aftermath of our rain event. The rain itself happened overnight, so there was nothing to see, only to hear. And here, which is our paddock A15, you can clearly see that water was flowing to the left. And it came in from the neighbor's land. There is nothing new here, that happens every time. And it went into this ditch, which happens to be a seasonal creek. And we have talked about this many times. To do something positive here, and that will happen. That's going to be one of the projects that you guys can also participate in. And to the gentleman who sent me detailed drawings about what to do here, that actually might be an opportunity for you to put some boots on the ground and actually pull this off together with a few other people. So the idea is, and I talked with Life Terra about this as well, to establish here a riparian area as it's supposed to be. So we can do a lot of good things, but keep in mind, there behind the tree you see a breach in the wall. That is where our world ends. And there's absolutely no chance that the neighbor on the other side will participate or even welcome a gift. That's a complicated topic. No, actually it's complex. And now is not the time to try to explain this. So the message here is, we did receive a lot of rain, and that is what we are left with. It already started to sink in a little bit, as you can see there at the edges. So there was a little bit of flooding here, so it went overboard and is now getting lower. So our fort here was flooded, but the stones and all this held up very good, so there's really nothing to complain. The only thing is, you can see there quite a bit of sediment that came from somewhere, and I'm also wondering about this, where that came from, because it wasn't like this before. It might be that it came from over there, which is unfortunate. We should probably do something about that, because this appears to be pretty new material. You can see it is very soft, and it should not be on a road. It should be over there and nurture plants. So let's investigate. So let me go in here. This, by the way, is all off, and most of them are also put up high. The horses can walk freely. So here where I am walking, this is extremely soft. So this is all fresh or new material, and it washed out onto our road here. So probably some barrier could help a little bit, and eventually plants, trees, shrubs here along the fence. But I'm wondering where it comes from, because we do have grasses here. You can see water movement marks, and there. So, but then those things are still there. So I am not completely sure what is the reason. Of course, this area should have a lot more plants to keep the soil in place. It is also soft here. So all this material. But then the area is largish. So could be that the accumulation of all that is then the reason why we have so much material here on that road. So that's something to think about. Right now there's not much we can do. It is where it is. But I think once we plant something here, that can definitely solve the issue for good. So that the soil works as it's intended to be. And you can also see here there is material that has accumulated and was stopped a little bit by the two pipes there. The downpours were very heavy, so even the kinetic energy from the water falling down is enough to do something. That pipe is still there as it was, so this is a bit strange. So I guess what we will do is put some more stone here and also maybe form a line in front of that fence here. Now keep in mind, with our new plan of doing projects, we will not do this, I mean the planting and all that, right away. We will do the farmyard first and then the adjacent areas all around. This is one of those areas, so it will come to this sooner than later, but it is not the immediate thing. So first we have to work through the many projects that we already have identified. Thing is, you have to focus and not try to do everything. I was hoping that the animals could do part of the job, but as you have witnessed by watching these videos, that did not work out as I hoped, for many different reasons. So here again you can see that the water has been a little bit violent. So you see the edges there. So there was definitely a river flowing here, and those are sediment traps, and there the water calms down, and going further towards the pond over there it will slow down more and more, which is why here there was heavy flow, but then the next stage here shows less sign of damage. It is getting wet again, but it's just a dribble, I think, so the camera will survive this. And you can also see the flow, or the signs of the flow. So what I wanted to show you is this, and this looks quite unusual. So first of all, it is completely full. That is a positive thing, but you can see what is on top. It is definitely dribbling now. So you see there is a lot of material that is floating on top. All the plant remnants that the water took away. There's a piece of a branch and soil, and all this came from above over there, and especially from the neighbor. So total damage. So I will finish showing you this here, but then I need to hide because it looks like the rain is getting a bit stronger. Not good for cameras. And you see the whole thing also was flowing heavily here. And you see this also got washed away. So this is now an interesting discovery. So there's quite a bit of things to do. Good that at the moment we only have the horses around here and no cattle or other animals, because that would be a huge issue. So now allow me to get out of here and put the camera away. It is also the wind. So the fence is in pretty bad shape. But again, everything is off. So it's not a huge problem at the moment. And it will be modified anyway. But I think that we have lost a few fencing elements. Can be replaced, but still a bad thing. So turning off, because now it's really time. Now that the sun is back out, let's see how the upper part looks like. I wish we had a second pond there. There could be one, that's entirely possible, but it would be a job for the big excavator instead of the tiny backhoe. But the backhoe can do it, it just takes a while. So let's go under here. And by the way, this looks pretty dry. So that's a good thing, because before we always had a lot of water running down our very own road. That's the easement. There has been movement, but it doesn't look very violent. But then it always went down here, and it also did. So yeah, so there was something going on, which is why partially this got unburied, and that is also normal. So we saw this before, and you see those bends, they have been dislocated by the wind. That is what happens with these. The horses will not have a problem, they are too smart. So here in this area the water has been going at relatively high speed, but it has not spread out because there's the channel. So you can clearly see that this was full, but it hasn't flooded on both sides. You can see that boulder there. That is where it got forced around. And you can also see the high water marks there. They are from the past, they are not from yesterday. But yeah, so all this material here is what is left, and it must be from the neighbor's side. So this is an area where we can definitely dig a pond to take out the force of the water that comes rushing down here. There is a natural one basically, but let's have a look. So the catchment area on the neighbor's land, clearly visible, but here it has already been a high-speed stream. You can see the marks left and right. May zoom in a bit so that you can see that better. There you can see. So kind of a riverbed now. But as I was mentioning, these people here, they have no interest. So the story is older couple. We have been visiting them while they were living here in the beginning, but whatever you said, God replied with, what do I know? Basically that expression. So not really interested. And now one of the three sons, no, it's actually two sons and one daughter, who used to be working as a firefighter, I believe. He comes and oversees things. They sold their sheep to a tenant, and it appears that they also keep a few pigs. Now there is still over there a little vegetable garden for some very traditional things, so potatoes and some peppers. I'm not going to talk too much about other people, but the point that I'm trying to make is there is no way in the current situation that these people are even remotely interested in joining forces and doing something together to improve the land. Their interest is monetary, to earn money with some flavor of animal raising. You can call this ranching, but when I say ranching, I always think about cowboys in North America, and that's a totally different thing. So we are alone on this. So don't tell me, which is a very good idea, that I should collaborate with the neighbors, and don't think the neighbors were living on the land like we do. So we are the exception, and the norm is of this other kind. But yeah, we can definitely make this deeper and wider, and therefore have a little bit of a pond. Basically there, go left, and also remove some of the material on that side. But I think here in front of me, that is basically the place. There is already a berm, as you can see. I have no idea how and when was this created, and I think we can basically make this a little bit more pronounced and make a big hole, but this time not in a bathtub shape, but have some shoreline that goes step by step into the deeper parts, so that we can have vetiver, for example, around that. The vetiver would be nice. There is a natural that works in a similar way, but the vetiver also doubles as forage and grows well in summer, while the other one only grows when it's cooler. So thinking about the earth is getting hotter, so there a plant like vetiver would definitely be a benefit. So I can see that here. That would be a good thing to do. And probably takes a few hours with the big excavator. And speaking about, I had a conversation earlier with our friend, the construction guy, who has all the toys, and we spoke about making a big pond there in that back area where we have this seasonal creek, and might be that this is going to happen very soon. He has to come here first and have a look, but I really like to get this done. We spoke about this to do it in August, but it never happened. So maybe now it will probably take a week to dig this pond and also do some terracing. So I'm talking about something over there, up the hill and down into a valley, in that valley, not about here. But if that excavator is here anyway, a few hours would then give us also another pond here, just because the machine is here. So I definitely keep this in mind, and I hope we can get this done and accumulate a lot of water over the next few months until the summer begins again. So this here is A7, the site of the future Miyawaki forest, the one that got postponed. We will do this probably in March. So that is when the frost has then stopped and we still get more rain. And as you can see, the depressions that we dug are filled. So here you see one, and there are a few others scattered around. And I wanted to go up there quickly and have a look at this pond. The horses are already in this area. They will be very happy in the upcoming weeks, because all this means a lot of grass will emerge. So now that we really have moisture in the ground, that should go very quickly. But the next 2 or 3 weeks they will have to nibble on things, but they will also nibble on old straw and somehow sustain themselves. They are not working, so it's not so bad, and they have the whole area to themselves, which is roughly 10-12 hectares, so not so bad. So let's have a look. Hi there. It's a very positive thing that Librada comes to greet. She did not do this in the past. It was always Tuscarora, that one there. So that is a very good thing. Tuscarora? You are not sure? Look away. Okay, yeah. You guys have been gotten wet, but it makes new grass. And there is Solo. There is no point in approaching him because he will run away. He is still very afraid of humans. So let's have a look. Aha. Just as I suspected. A little bit, but then you can see how the soil looks like, pretty sandy, and that means the water will disappear quickly. But this will then go that way and also help the Miyawaki forest on the other side. Well, it could also go the other way, but I kind of wish that it stayed on our side. And what I can mention for some very nice reason, unknown to me, but Life Terra promised us 14,400 saplings, and I calculated that we will probably use only 9,000 in there. So that means we have more trees and shrubs to plant, and that means at the same time we can take care of this. Yeah, you agree? Yeah, I would think so. So you can use the excess plants here on that berm and the whole area basically, and make this nice. And on the inside, when summer comes around, so that would be around May, we can then also plant some vetiver. Because by then we should have a vetiver nursery. One of the smaller things that I wanted to do for a long time and nobody picked it up. And now Angel and I, undisturbed, will do all these things. Because it's a totally different situation. And that is a lot easier. Sometimes a pair is more effective than a group of people who, that is not becoming a team. So I'm a bit disappointed, as you can hear, but I try to make the best out of the situation, and it's going to be a fresh start. So of course now they follow me around because they are hungry. There is not that much forest and jealous, but there is nothing that I can provide them. There is something to eat, but of course actual feed, more energy, that is what they are looking for. But that is for Sakahaway, because she cannot be here, because she's blind. You see how that goes? That is Horsey's communication. Pin the ears and tell the other to move away. Because the boss is now Librada, the black one here. Because she's bigger. Sakahawaya used to be the boss, despite the fact being smaller. Because the attitude was different. But now, apparently, it goes by size. And speaking about the horses, so Librada here has been ridden, but the training level is probably dubious. So here is a training project, and Tuscarora here is a well-trained horse, but needs a refresher. But she's always been very sweet and caring for the rider, especially when it's a kid. So no problem. So these two definitely are available for volunteers who like to get a little bit into horse riding or know about that. So we will have a facility, our round pen again, and then we can play and train with them. The gelding there, forget it. He is too damaged and he's basically now on rest. So there is nothing we can do except to provide him a pleasant life as an older horse. I have no idea actually how old he really is, but the mental damage is too big. But these two ladies here, you can definitely have fun with them, and I believe they will also appreciate it. So this one here has always been very nice and only knows the good side of humans, while he does know the other side. I wish they could talk and share experiences. So sun right now feels very nice, and I guess that's the end of this episode. So see you on the next one.